weekly feed. I'm Kyle Meredith, 21 Pilots. After a very amazing Forecastle 2014 set here in Louisville, Kentucky, that was fun.
Fun?
That was
amazing.
Fun. Yeah.
I like all these words.
Yeah. And we were kind of joking off camera, but that really does have to be a workout for you guys every night. I mean, it's.
I rely on it actually. We just had like maybe a week off, and I felt my gut getting bigger because we travel so much and we play like almost every night of our lives, and I rely on that to kind of like keep me like in shape. So when we have like time off, I'm just like, now what do I do? Because we don't eat healthy.
I was about to say, this really does give you an excuse.
Yeah.
You can eat whatever you want ever as long as you play that show.
Right. It's our cardio. It's really our excuse for not caring what we put in our bodies.
No. That only worked for a handful of years, but
no, we're
still got it.
We're in for it. It's gonna come back.
We just pretend it'll work forever.
Yeah.
It's been amazing, this whole I guess trajectory you guys have been on, because it hasn't been the longest story of where you guys started and where you guys. I'm sure it feels like it probably has, but we're only talking about a small handful of years here. From you guys getting started to what's happening right now, and something that's happening out there that just doesn't happen to most bands, I guess. From the one bands who spend a decade in the club before it ever takes hold to. I mean, it just happens, I guess, differently for the bands who do become successful. But this seems like something special. I mean, do you feel that? Do you get that sense?
There's a couple of different ways of looking at it for us. In one hand, we feel like it's pretty amazing that we've accomplished everything that we have in this amount of time. But then you alluded to it, where there's another part of it where it just feels like, it's people don't really see the amount of time we spent before anyone cared. We're definitely lucky and grateful for the success we've seen. But there's still times where we get off stage and look at each other like, can you believe that we didn't have to set up our own gear tonight? Because that's what we did all the time,
I mean, you guys are music fans, though. I mean, I'm guessing you're music fans. I mean, you've probably seen the templates, of some of your heroes and what it took for them to get to point A to point B.
Yeah. Well, every project, every band, every artist has a different story, a different equation in which to get to where they ultimately are. And ours is different than a lot of other people's, but there's one very consistent element to it, and it's hard work. And Josh and I really we pushed each other a lot.
It's very noticeable,
physically and metaphorically.
Yeah. I mean, does it feel like you're? You didn't say literally, though.
Okay, sorry.
No, I hate Josh, actually. We don't like each other at all. Yeah. We have unfollowed each other on all social networks.
That's really good, though, for a band.
I have a fake account that I follow him on that just
in case
he tweets
as long as
something crazy about me.
Yeah, as long as you don't like each other, you can never fall out.
Right, exactly. We're good to go forever.
Yeah, right.
I blocked him on Twitter, but I'm always like, texting his brother like, dude, what's Josh doing today?
He's great. He's best friends with my brother.
Yeah.
It's not creepy at all.
No, I feel like I know what you're doing and what you're eating and stuff because your brother fills me in.
Okay.
But I refuse to follow you on Twitter.
That's the thing, though, with a duo, though, if you get in one fight, the band's over.
No,
but this way, you're already out. That's it's really beautiful. I think you might start a new trend.
Yeah, I mean, he'll either, some nights he'll kick me out of the band.
Yeah.
Some nights I'll kick him out of the band. But we always.
That's cute.
It is cute because we're thinking, well, now we both can go on tour by ourselves and make twice as much money at one time, because I'll play in one place, he'll play another, and at the end of the day we'll come back together and be like, dude, I'm sorry. I tracked you.
Yeah.
I went on stage and there were no drums.
It's not so much about the passion as you guys have found a really good business model to make the money.
We're businessmen.
Well, we are. We joked about before this actually started working.
Yeah.
Being in a band, talking to girlfriends, fathers, and stuff. What do you do with your life, son? Saying I'm in a band, like, didn't really sit well with some adults.
Wouldn't work for sure.
So we would always answer people, we're businessmen. So we
businessmen on a stage.
Remember when we came up with that?
That was so funny.
We were like in a bathroom, like at stalls, like I don't know
taking
how
a pee. Is that what we were doing?
Yeah, we're just being,
I feel like this is a
being
different
not
story
friends,
that's going to go somewhere else.
being together, and somehow that idea came up that we're not like band guys,
We're businessmen. Yeah.
And we even should have like you should have like a mini keyboard or a ukulele in a briefcase.
Yeah,
just have,
all
like,
of our
sticks
gear is
at all
going to be in
times.
briefcases. Like we have this whole thing planned out.
You got to go with the whole tie thing?
Yeah.
Like suit.
We tried the suit and tie for a tour, and then we just hated it.
Yeah.
Like, we can move around and stuff.
Your upright piano is kind of like a desk, you know?
Yeah, no, it is. Like I get a lot of work done.
Yeah, a lot of work.
A lot of work done.
A lot of work.
Difference is every now and then you get up on your desk. Too.
Super busy.
Yeah.
Staying super busy.
Super busy. Yeah.
There's something that happened. I'm gonna play ages here and generations. You get up on stage and on the album and you bring out a ukulele. When I was young, when I was a teenager, that was like the worst thing you could ever do at a party. If you brought out a ukulele, you were not going to get laid. That was not going to happen. And that
Ukulele.
changed. Yeah, and that changed about
Hawaiian, like on the beach.
You mean not laid? Like you're not gonna get a lay?
Yeah.
Hawaiian.
No, I'm talking about sex.
Jeez.
That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to happen. Somewhere around 5 or 6 years ago, that changed, and suddenly the ukulele became the thing. And now I see you up on stage, and I think of all those times of me as a poor teenager with a uke.
You missed out, man.
Over in the corner.
It's a chick magnet.
So much sex.
No, I found myself on tours. Like we did a tour with Fall Out Boy, and the tour was called Saving Rock and Roll, and it's very bold of them. We were opening up the tour, and I realized I was on a tour called Saving Rock and Roll, and I'm up there on the little ukulele, just shredding it.
Perfect.
You know, just really bringing the hardcore scene together.
You still walked out with all the reviews.
Yeah.
So is that right? Rock has to evolve.
Yeah.
And if rock's evolving to something smaller, whatever.
Saving Rock and Roll, one tiny instrument at a time.
It's a perfect instrument. It really is a perfect instrument.
Thank you.
I don't know about perfect.
You can travel it. You can take it anywhere. You can.
See, Josh is a drummer.
See, wait.
You can't hit it.
Yeah.
He's frustrated.
It's a percussive instrument.
You can't hit
because
it.
you're doing this.
Percussive?
Because you're doing this. You're striking things. And isn't that the definition of percussion? To strike. Yes.
My mom would percuss my dad all the time. We had a lot of really awkward.
Do you want to lay down?
Yeah, I didn't even think about this.
To go about this the way you guys have done it too, in such an indie way, that's a term that's stamped indie.
Yeah.
You think of indie, that's an indie band, that's a rock band, that's a lo-fi band. For you guys to turn around and do what you do, you're not. I mean, okay, the genre question is always out there.
Yeah.
It's always like, what are you? What are you? What are you? Did it? You talk about those early days. Though, was it hard finding an audience? Because here it is, you're on your own, you're doing this DIY thing, but not to what a regular DIY crowd, would take to that. It's a different sound, and you're mixing all of these genres. Was it ever a point where it was hard, where you're like, where are our people? Who are they? We
definitely got thrown on a lot of bills with a bunch of different bands that didn't make sense at all.
Which I think is like hard. It's like kind of when we were playing in these shows with hardcore bands, or like we'd play in like basement like hip hop shows. I think that kind of like lends to a little bit of the confusion that we had, because we would draw things from any kind of like show or scene that we would play in, and so then when people ask like the genre, we're like, well, I don't know. We went and played a bunch of shows with a bunch of different people, and then grab like a little bit of different things from each thing and confused ourselves even.
Yeah, and indie, the word is so vague. It's like
it's different now than it was. Yeah,
I
started out with the Strokes. That was indie.
I personally think when someone describes a band as indie, or like a festival being indie, I imagine Indiana Jones, and I imagine like indie. Everyone dressed like him. It's a really indie band. You know what I mean? Like there's just like Indiana Jones
I'm an indie
killing
geek,
it.
So you're playing right into me here.
Snakes attacking everybody.
Yeah, it's a great show.
No, I see it more and more, and I think that's what gives me hope about. There's always a thing about I want music to always move forward, and it can become stagnant here and there. And more I see bands where it used to be not even more than a few years ago, bands only played to genre, and more it becomes, this newer breed of bands. Really, that's not important. It's not important that we say we have to be this. This is what we are. This is what we're defined by. You can do all of this, and people will follow.
We really do come from a generation of kids that had access to any sort of music.
Yeah.
And that definitely influenced the type of songs we wanted to make. we approached it as, what is something that we would want to listen to, and we made what we thought wasn't being presented to us. And not to say that we're doing something completely different. We're taking things from all over the place, but
you're a great mixtape.
Yeah. Well, it's just I never want to write a song that people can hear the first 20 seconds of it and be like, oh, I get it.
Right.
Right. Exactly. I understand what you're doing. I know what you probably look like live. I know what the next album's going to be. I know what the music video looks like, and I never want to be predictable like that. It seems very uninteresting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with all that we just said now, I'm going to just call you aggressive poetry. Because that's what it ends up coming on. Because you're up there. It's not so much rapping. I mean,
I can't.
Obviously, right?
I mean, I'm not a rapper.
Yeah, and I've heard you explain it with you had that was the line, right? You wrote poetry and you had so many words that you had to smash
aggressive
in.
Poetry,
and now it becomes just aggressive poetry. Yeah.
I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
I'm a rapper.
He's a rapper, actually. We just haven't kicked his.
We haven't started utilizing that yet.
Yeah.
You are a rapper of the soul, of the beat. Run with that.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm gonna run with it.
Switching gears quickly, was it ever a point, now that you guys are coming up, it seemed like people started suddenly going, there's a religious thing happening here.
Yeah.
Was that ever a point where you said, no, music, stay away from that. That's not really what we're about. This is music.
Yeah. I think that there's certain things that there's only so many things that someone can write a song about.
Uh-huh.
There's love.
Sure.
There is success. There is women, clothes, money, and then there's something that I particularly gain a lot from writing about, and it's a little bit of fear. It's not knowing exactly. I don't know the answers to some of these big questions I've asked myself.
Sure.
And if you think about the idea that if I were to stand up and punch you in the face right now, everyone here, including myself and Josh, would think that was wrong. But why? Why is that wrong?
Okay.
Like there's this idea of morality, and I wonder where it came from and why did we always have it? Did it be developed because of just conditioning? But it's hard for me to stop at the idea that there's nothing bigger than ourselves. Now, if you want to call that God or religion or whatever, I'm not in any way getting up on stage and trying to tell people
it's not a sermon
what to believe or anything. It's just, here are my questions I have, and honestly, they're not being answered, and I'm struggling with these things. And some people hear some of those emo, deeper lyrics and think, he must be screaming out to a god or whatever, however people interpret that. And honestly, it's just not rapping about women, and it's not singing about success, and it's not talking about thrift stores and stuff.
Yeah. We're gonna get new music, I hear, somewhat kind of soon. Soon-ish. I don't want to put the pressure on you guys. I'm not asking you to put a thing out, but I know it's in the works, right?
Yeah.
There's a new record now in the works. This is a really important record. There's the pressure.
That's pressure. Yeah.
Because you just put yourself on this world stage, and you're like, all right.
Listen to this.
This is us.
Yeah. We're so sweet.
Yeah.
No, I think the songs we're playing now were truly written not knowing if anyone ever was going to hear them.
Right.
And there was a sense of authenticity to it, naivety, and I wonder how someone being in the spotlight, or at least knowing someone's going to hear them, how they preserve those things. And we're working on that. And I want to get back to that place where this is just what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. And we're really excited for some of these ideas.
Well, everyone's listening.
It's really cool. We're really cool. I think you're cool.
I think you're cool.
Thanks.
I'm really glad we had it. You guys want a group hug? You gonna end this with a group
No,
hug?
I don't touch people.
All right, we're done then.
No.
That's good.
Bring it in, dog. Bring it in.